Hello all, thank you very much for joining the Unilytics webinar on Unilytics Managed Services for Webtrends. I hope all can hear me. If people are having issues hearing me, just send us a message or in the Q&A section or instant message us. On the call with us today is myself, Matt Bellata. I am the product manager at Unilytics, and Richard Shimura. He's our senior consultant and will help us with the presentation and the discussion of Unilytics Managed Services for Webtrends. In case you have any questions, you can go through the Q&A button at the top of your window, or you can even tweet us with the custom hashtag UnilyticsUMS. So I will go ahead and begin our presentation. So I'd like to introduce Unilytics for those that are not familiar with us and update those that are with some of our recent developments. Unilytics is a web analytics consultancy with over 800 customers. We've delivered over 450 successful consulting engagements. And via our consulting mantra of optimization, we've created many apps and services that enhance and extend web analytics reporting. And our Unilytics Managed Services for Webtrends, which we're discussing today, is just one of those. We are also the world's largest reseller and consulting partner of Webtrends. We do a tremendous amount of work with Adobe Site Catalyst and Google Analytics, and we're actually told that we are the only company certified for all three. So that's just a little bit background about us, and we'll dive right into the Unilytics Managed Services for Webtrends. So I'll pass on to Richard.
Hi everyone, I'm going to talk a little bit about our Unilytics Managed Services system. Why did we set up this system, and why did we devise this plan and this configuration? Well, there was a challenge that many organizations were facing. Deploying Webtrends and deploying many other complex software systems is costly. Not just in the overt visible costs that we see in terms of procuring hardware and procuring network support and various control. There are also other hidden costs with regards to applying personnel who aren't expertise in certain systems. So deploying hardware with very specific specifications can cause us to either over or underutilize our existing hardware. And these inefficiencies are often not visible immediately and often are only found down the road when certain things do not go well, or when systems fail, or we find that the systems are not functioning as they should be. So we found that through all of these deficiencies, the system is often not configured properly, or the system is not built to proper specifications. So organizations are clamoring for a solution that meets their needs and meets it efficiently and worry-free. So what is the solution? Well, before we propose the system specs and before we outlined the entire system, we had to look at how we would solve this problem. So what solution would be the preferred approach? So for the solution to be successful, it must be low cost, it must be flexible and give us the ability to grow, essentially seamless, so that as we needed more features, as we needed access to more parts of Webtrends, we would be able to just expand as needed. There wouldn't be a long requirement gathering or a long procurement process just to get an additional piece onto our system. So in terms of getting it being very flexible and in terms of it having full access to our data, we also wanted it to be fully supported by experts and also have worry-free uptime. So we wanted a system that was flexible and that provided us good stability. Often with existing systems, you're either limited to one or the other. So we want to essentially find a hybrid. So how would we do that? So what we chose was to put Webtrends into the cloud. Essentially, we want to make it fully accessible and ready for your business unit. No more worrying about the deficiencies that existing systems are providing for you right now. So let's step forward and let's look at what managed services are. Some of you may already be familiar with it. Managed services are where experts manage your hardware and support your installation so you can focus on your business. Focus on that which matters to you, not which is not critical or core to your business. Because every business that focuses on too many things often will lose sight of its focus and will not execute on its focused task and its core competency. So next, let's talk about why managed services. So think of managed services as being a solid foundation or a framework, something that's tough as steel that can support your infrastructure needs and your software requirements. But specific to our implementation, we are tying both the best of on-premise and on-demand hosted environments into a new hybrid model. In this model, our goals are to have it most efficient and managed by Webtrends experts to allow you to focus on the data that comes out of your reports. You're no longer limited by existing system constraints or capped by certain numbers that have been imposed, such as reports or profiles or customer reports, for example. So with our system, we want you to have a worry-free, solid foundation to which you can extract valuable data for your business. So let's talk a little bit about the system configuration. Our system configuration has two main layers to it. The first layer is the collection layer. This is supported by a global collection server network. You might currently refer to these as your SDC servers. Most organizations will have one or two SDC servers to gain some redundancy and failover in the event that one server goes down. Now, our system has more than one location, and at each location we have more than one collection server. So that gives you a much higher capacity, much more data support, and a lot better redundancy. So if any one collection server goes down, there are still many others that are available to take those requests on. Often, individual organizations will find it to be very expensive and very costly to support a similar configuration with multiple data centers if they do not already have multiple data centers. Our next layer is our analysis server network. So we are expertly configuring each of these servers to very precise specifications. We want these specifications to match exactly what Webtrends needs. So you're not over-speccing your servers just to ensure that you have all of the components you need, or not under-speccing your servers so that you might meet the minimum requirements, but your system might not be processing the data as it should or as fast as it should. So we want your system to work exactly in line with your needs. So we also provide support for the Insight interface, the data extraction and data in and out APIs, as well as the standard Webtrends user interface for administration. We focused this analysis server network on being easily and quickly expandable. So if you have an urgent need to add another analysis server or to add another component, then you can very easily order new servers. There isn't a need to request or will take a long time to deploy these servers as they are handled and managed at our data center. Backups and long-term storage, as well as security and server monitoring, is available 24/7 for your servers, and these utility servers will fully support your analysis network. Let's look at the network topology next. So For those who are technical, this might be an interesting slide, but if you're not very technical from a network perspective, just focus on the two blue outlines. There's a smaller blue outline which consists of one collection network, and there's a larger blue outline which consists of both the collection network and your analysis network. This configuration is set up for maximum redundancy for your collection and allows you to store all of your data in a secure, centralized location for processing efficiently. Additionally, all of these servers are supported with very high uptime guarantees, and we also ensure that you have full access and control over your servers on an as-needed basis. Let's talk a little bit about the limits of the system. We've designed Unilytics Managed Services with the idea that you are free of standard limits. So you can freely deploy new hardware to meet your processing needs. As long as your processing needs fall within your stated page view license count, you can process as many profiles, custom reports, translation tables, report exports, even other custom data extraction methods to all be processed within your system without having to worry about whether you hit your wall or your limit for processing. The idea is to make the system as flexible and as able to support your needs as possible.